Whoop. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're back in our Deck Knight project, a game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, C++, blueprints, the gameplay, ability system, plugin, and all of that good stuff. So, of course, we're back. We're going to be working on our Dagger weapon. So last time we were working on this, we were working on the weapon mana, as I'm calling it, this kind of gameplay loop where as I'm dealing damage, I'm getting, in the bottom left corner, some weapon mana. And so I want to be able to stack, deal damage with my daggers and my dagger special in order to earn this resource. And then when I hold left bumper right now, maybe I might want to move it to left trigger. I'm not sure. Maybe, yeah. I think triggers will probably be better, and then taps will be here. We'll see. But basically, when I'm holding left bumper, I'm going to be able to do a special kind of attack with it, with those points. Obviously, it's not going to be this anymore. It's going to be something that spawns projectiles in this case. So obviously, you have the bow and arrow, but then one also had this dagger projectile thing that could do something cool and hopefully interesting as well. So we're going to try to implement that. So let's go to a demo map, daggers. So it's this combo wave attack that I want. And if we just simulate. I don't know if I really want to do the full thing or if I should just kind of go back and forth. Where it's like boom, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And kind of speed those like up in a way. Probably that's what I want to go with. And then we kind of just spawn projectiles. Hopefully using our projectile pooling system as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So I know the animations are here and here. So let us retarget, and I have a retargeter, I believe. Dagger with him. Gotta let it do its thing. And so we're looking for wave sequence 1, 1 and 2, right? Export. Let's go to gas course, game, character, animation. There's melee. Is there? Yeah, daggers. Here we go. Export, export. So we have our animations. And I probably want to like have some time warping in here. We'll have to see. And it's only going to be rotational warping. I do want it to lock you in place. I don't want it to be upper body only kind of thing. So let's go into player ability system abilities, or test examples, dagger, and there's animations. Oh, in here, what do I got? Yeah, I got just the montages. So let us create montage and just move them in here. Okay, can't do that. I need to connect to Perforce, so shield your eyes because it's gonna be a white background here. That burns the corneas. Okay, let's try that again. Let's mark those for add, and then move on. Good. Now let us make an ability for it, because basically we have GA weapon dagger block, but let's do so GA weapon dagger special. And yeah, it's going to be a montage, and we want to do a similar evaluation of a curve. So evaluate curve, not curve, a chooser. Evaluate chooser. And chooser is going to be melee combo. Make a variable here, so let's say tag combo tag. So that's exposed. I'll put it into that. And for now, that it's enough. We're gonna need a callback for the event tag as well. Yeah, event tags, I think, is a proper good name. And there should be like a projectile one, right? So event animation combat range, throw projectile. I don't know why it's called throw. Oh, it's fireball. So yeah, let's clean up the tagging here. I'll just say spawn projectile. I don't know anything called spawn, right? So projectile. So there's attachment, attach projectile. Because I should have something in, yeah, the bow shooting, right? So yeah, event.animation.combat.range.shoot. Let's just reuse this one. And then let's make a custom event. Spawn projectile. Now we'll just print string. Put a point across. Spawn projectile. Array. Oops. There you go. A little too bright. Nah, that seems fine. Okay. Let's just assume now, whatever event we receive, we want to just spawn the projectile. Okay, let's do a switch. Shoot, and then we go here, and we just print string, hey, I want to shoot, right? So let's go to melee combo. Let's go to Dagger's melee combo. And we have special in air, which we may not want to have. Maybe the word special is too generic. Oh, we got a kitty. Are you just passing by it, people? Okay. Yeah, we don't need this one. Don't need this one, so we're gonna do. So there's special. Because there's extended, maybe moveset is a better word. Yeah, I feel like, you know, there's light and then special, and then from evade doesn't really make too much sense. So I want to say daggers dot extended dot from and we have to go to the daggers state tree. Whoops. And we have evade attack. We just gotta change this from extended to evade like that. I should probably change this from tag container to gameplay tag. Then make container from tag. Now we can add our special, right? So I believe we can remove the project settings. Fade. Can I delete that tag? No. Okay. Does it need to be resaved? Okay, wait, what just happened? I think I also have to update the other heavy hold, right? Because I don't think this uses the same thing, like the hold loop. Probably have to clean this up too. Hey, I'm the guy who touches those plugins. I love them. Came back to say thanks. Oh, awesome! Glad to hear you you checked them out and you find them useful. Definitely nice, better on the eyes, better for connecting the dots and something. So for sure, glad to hear. So how you doing? Thanks for popping in. We're gonna do the result is asset, right? So I don't know why oh yeah, because I added that, right? So there's special, I want to say also heavy, right? So special from evade should be invalid now. So let's check again. For evade, special from evade, delete. Yes, bye-bye. And while we're here, we'll do daggers. Light, and then I'll do a heavy. And then there should be just, I don't know what this special one is. Delete. All right, it's not even used. So I'm good. Looks like you're consistent with that game of yours. Yeah, I mean, slowly but surely, we'll have something hopefully awesome. We're going to do .01 and 02. So today we're working on the special attack for the dagger, which will comprise of basically two attacks where each attack you're going to be spawning a projectile. At least that's the idea. So hopefully that works. So yeah, we're back into DT Melee's combo. So we're gonna do now special 01. Let's clear that special 01. special 2. Let's also add a heavy hold one, or just heavy. And I had that ability open. Let's reopen it. Yeah, this animation. Because how does this work, really? Because there's this, because it's a start. So we do that, and we blend into the hold. It's not all one. I can't remember why I didn't make it all one ability. So for now, whatever. So we'll do heavy. Start, loop, end. Okay, so let's duplicate this. So start, loop, and end. Let's put all the right stuff in. So this is the start. This is the loop. And this is the... Because I did I mean, I guess... I think I did something not great. So I suspect this also has the end in it as well. Yeah. So yeah. Question to me, I wonder why I made that a whole thing. Where? I mean, all separate states, right? So start, loop, and end. Maybe it could be better. We'll look at that later in this week as well, but for now, it's fine. So we have our stuff updated. I'll have to, properly pass and evaluate the tag here too. So let's do that. So we have evaluate user. Make tag. Go back attack combo tag. So now, instead of this being defensive action, this is going to be Dagger special attack. And let's also update the heavy hold stuff. So I need to force rebuild. Okay. So we're not getting the tag. Only in hold loop. Okay, so refresh. Here's the tag. So heavy loop. So what is the difference between heavy hold? So it's all motion we're constructing. That's kind of derpy. Not really. Damn, bro, you have really old game development videos? Bro, I know. I'm old. Been doing this for quite some time. Check them out, watch them. Not sure how useful they are anymore. Okay, so there's definitely a opportunity here to refactor the Dagger hold loop. So refactor Dagger hold loop. Let's add that as a task for next time. So unify the attack to be one state and state 3 and 1 ability. How old are you? I'm gonna be 35 in November. And have you ever worked for a game development company? Yeah. So I work currently at CD Projekt Red, but before this, I worked at People Can Fly. I worked on Outriders and Outriders World Slayer. And before that, I worked for a company in Serbia where we worked on Aquanox, Deep Descent. So that was my first real job around 2015-16. That's when I was really making money in the industry, not just doing tutorials and stuff like that. And so I've just been doing that since. So I'm about 10 years deep into the process of AA and AAA game dev. So we're in all this. So at this point, I really just need to now go into the special attack, right? So there's always a transition to, from idle into this special attack. And the special attack, so this input.station.defensive.trigger, this is not really much. So you probably need to add new tags, different tags. Because yeah, there's IA_stance block. Once again, I need to maybe make a new IA for this. So IA underscore weapon special attack. And we can update the IMCs here. Just IMC, gamepad, and ABM. So let's just replace stance block with special. That's so cool. I want to be like you. Didn't know you worked on games like that. Well, if you keep working on your own stuff and making fun systems and continuously learning and stuff like that, you'll be like me. I'm still, I still got imposter syndrome. I always feel like I'm not the best I can be. So hopefully others perceive me differently. Yeah, I love what I do. Don't get me wrong. There's just a lot to be tracking and a lot of feedbacks and a lot of criticisms and a lot of it's it can be tiring sometimes. But yeah, Outriders now in hindsight I liked a lot. In the moment I was very much burnt out. Because it was like a skeleton crew for the DLC. So it was just a few of us doing a lot, and that's when I was principal technical designer for World Slayer. I think I was just senior for vanilla Outriders. And then now I've made my way from senior gameplay designer to principal gameplay designer at CD Projekt. But yeah, a lot of work, a lot of fun stuff though. I learned a lot of talented people that we work with. Okay, so we're here. So yeah, at this point, I think it needs to be kind of in two places, unless we handle it differently, but I think for now it's fine. So let's get rid of this. Okay. Do you also have experience in 3D modeling stuff, and if how much? I really don't, honestly. Like, I tried modeling back when I was in college. Like, I did a couple simple meshes and stuff like that, but it just wasn't really my jam. So I stuck with design, and then I went into scripting, and now I'm trying to be more into like a very high level programming. Like, I'm not a programmer by any stretch of the imagination, but trying to get a little bit more experience there. But on the art side is where I'm weakest. So we have tasks, so let's do dynamic. Let's do Dagger special. Now we have the combo tag. So Dagger special 01. And then we'll do a transition on event. Or what is it? Special dot triggered. What skill got you hired at CD Projekt Red? It was just when they were starting development, and they had just announced that they were switching to Unreal Engine 5. So as you know, they were working with Red Engine, and so they needed a lot of people with experience with Unreal Engine. So I had just shippable game experience with Unreal Engine 5 and the game playability system plugins. So they saw that in my resume, and so I believe that's what got me hired. And you know, my YouTube channel and everything with my tutorials kind of showed that I'm willing to teach others as well, so I can help other people learn about it. Yeah, don't worry. You can ask as many questions. I'll try not to answer everything because I'm probably not legally allowed to, but I will try to answer as many questions as you got. Don't worry about it. Okay. Let's go back into our map, and now we got to start marking up our animation. And then we'll just make sure we didn't break anything. So what's the biggest mistake you made early in my Unreal Engine career? Probably not learning programming earlier. Like back when I was learning Unreal Engine, it was what's the word? It was UDK, Unreal Developers Kit, and so they had Kismet, which was more or less a very primitive version of blueprints, where it was more like level blueprints, if anything. So that's where the bulk of my knowledge kind of came from, and so it wasn't super duper workable knowledge, I guess. And so I focused a little bit more on level design back then. But yeah, as soon as they made Unreal Engine 4 and introduced blueprints, that's where I got really into scripting and stuff like that with blueprints. And then I feel like I should have learned more earlier with the C++. But, you know, better late than never. Okay, so that's not even the right attack. What am I doing? Let's put the right attacks in, right? Wave. And I think I need to be better at maybe understanding mechanics and dissecting mechanics and stuff like that. And I also have to do better about being kind of more straightforward and honest with people and try not to hurt people's feelings. I think that's just like soft skills that I need to be working on a lot more. Because, you know, you gotta understand we're all people, you know. I think shit happens, people make mistakes. You gotta be You gotta be reasonable, but you also gotta be like serious when some stuff happens. So, learning those skills, I think it would be helpful as well. So let's see. What am I looking for to do? So with this time warp, I want to do. I kind of want him to. I want it to feel a little bit more like he's digging in with the knife. So like it's very quick. So I feel like if we do like a ramp up to like here, and we start at like 0.35. Maybe we can make it a curve. Something like that, maybe. I was 50 when I was actually 15. I was playing like Halo and Halo 3 and stuff like that. So I really wouldn't, I wouldn't say I regret anything. I would continue playing the games like I was when I was 15, because playing those games is what grew that passion in the first place. So, I wouldn't change anything, but like if I had to focus on something, it would just be more hard skills, programming. I think that looks okay. Maybe the curve could be a little. That's maybe too slow. That seems okay. To be honest, I have used people stuff around with that. The compilation takes years. I mean, yeah, there's hot reloads and stuff like that, but yeah, I know what you mean. Hello now. I would also want to focus on other game engines as well. Like back when I was learning, Unity had just started coming up, but besides that, all we had really was the Hammer engine, or Hammer editor, whatever you want to call it, the Half-Life 2 engine. We had CryEngine. They made us learn Warcraft 3 editor, I think. So there's definitely missed opportunities to do more. I think I like this one. Let's update the other one to be similar. Now, the body's all types of fucked up. I think also the blend-in time is a little derpy, right? Because it might be too much. So if we do blend in this, and then we put this at begin time 0.1. Not, but What debugging habit has saved you the most time? I don't know. Like, I think, like, the thing with debugging is kind of knowing what you need to know in order to effectively debug what the situation is. So, the only habit is just thinking about that, where it's like, okay, I know I have a pretty big damage pipeline workflow, right? So I'm like, okay, I will need to know how much damage I did, who I did it to, the damage type information, the values before and after modification, hit results, damage types, being able to easily filter through that, read through it, simulate it again to kind of see information about it. So it comes with experience, really, and depends on the system. Okay, so this position assumes you're going to be doing it from like here. Bro, if you would make tutorial, I do make tutorial. I'm going to be working on a motion warping tutorial. How many finished projects should someone have before applying for a junior role? I would say just like at least one. And you should be able to explain it very well. Have a good, what's the word? Have a good post-mortem. Really be able to speak about the process, things that you learned, the mistakes that you made, why you made them, how you improved upon them, stuff like that. Let's just see what this looks like in practice. So I don't think it's going to work first try or anything, so yeah. So I'm pressing left bumper and nothing's happening. So we know so far so good. So let's debug it. So I will need the rewind debugger. I need to attach this to that debugger. So here's our state tree. Yeah, so we're going back and forth, which makes sense because we don't really have input blocker buffers, right? So let's, whoops, I needed that open. And let's also make sure that we are, let's make sure we have a montage, right? I want to make sure that's valid. We play, we go here. So we're not even getting to activate ability, which is weird. Let's see. So a very goofy movie is happening right now, right? So we get here, get the special, don't get activate ability, which is weird. So let's see. On ability added. Do we get this call? So the biggest horror, like it's kind of cliche, but the biggest mistake. So what's the biggest mistake horror game beginners make? So are you talking about people who make specifically horror games, or I'm not sure what that question means. Okay, so we do get here. We get there. So I think it just happens immediately. So let's put I think I also have a combo thing, right? So allow this thing. So let's add that here. Let's also put an input block and buffer here. Let's see, let me look at my project pool. Should have for visibility setting. I'm pretty sure I have input somewhere, right? Am I crazy? Or no, it's in a component, I think. Input buffer. What surprised you the most when you joined a studio? Just how many people it takes to make a game and how much communication it takes to make a game. Like there's so many people, depending on the studio, obviously, but a lot of collaboration. You have to wear a lot of different hats. You have to argue. You have to get frustrated. It's not a bad thing explicitly. My input buffering again. Status dot block ability dot melee. Leave that. Oh, that's Dagger. Hold. Whoops. Well, this probably still needs it anyway. But yeah, let's get rid of the hold for a second, just to not confuse ourselves or where we're at. So you don't use version control? Yeah, we do. I've used it at every place I've worked at. So debug ability tags. We're there. So what is it that's not causing this to activate? So at this point now, there wouldn't really be an immediate transition, right? Okay, so let's not have this transition immediately. I just want to see if we get the animation to play and the ability to activate. So what's something beginners think is hard, but is actually easy in AAA? I don't know. Okay, so we got it activating, but it's because... Oh yeah, I need to add the transition rule in here, right? Let me just make sure I know. Sorry, I'm getting kind of hyper-focused on the project, so I don't know if I can answer many questions yet. on. So what's something beginners think is hard, but is actually easy? Or what's an Unreal feature almost nobody uses correctly and is also underrated? I don't know. Sorry, man. I can't. I give up answering questions at the moment. I need to focus on the project. But I also forgot to input block and buffer, so let me add input. So let's go back into here. Okay, so now bool compare property task cannot be found. We just need to do that one, and we also need to do the blind transition. That should, after I do this should compile. Yes. Now do I see these things come out? Now he's like, wee. He's doing a little dance. So yeah, how do we make it so you can't move now? So it should be, because we're in the default slot group, and it's a montage, you shouldn't really be able to move. So now is the issue that we need to, so let's mark these for add. Asset details, so enable root motion and force root lock. Does that change anything? Yeah, I'm sorry. It's okay to ask questions. It's like sometimes I need to be kind of hyper focused on what I'm doing, and I can't think in two places at a time. So don't take it the wrong way. There you go. So we got that working. So I'm moving the stick, but you can't see it, right? So it feels as if, definitely my time warping thing doesn't always like work as I would want it to. So I feel like this 0.01 is just too low. So let's do like 0.2. So it feels like a little bit sticky, but not too much. Excuse me. So we got that. Works pretty well. Now what happens if we make a cost for this, right? Because I want to pay weapon mana for this before I can even activate it, right? And I also need to add the notify where I spawn the projectile. So hold on. So spawn projectile. So we have a notify. Send gameplay event itself. Shoot. Roughly around maybe here. Maybe within this payload I can have like some textual tag to say if it's going to be on the left or right hand side or something. Let's also add a rotation warp. Yeah, this weekend I'm going to be working on a motion warping tutorial. Hopefully people will find it useful. I hope I do a good job. That's the second part of my hope. So basically from like here to like there is more or less where I want it to be. So where's this notify? That frame 8. So let's make sure you are also at frame 8. So let's see if we can extend it past that. I wonder if that's going to look good. So we don't care about translation. We only care about warp. I want to do a slurp with the clamp rotation. No need to apologize. I mean, that was a hard question. Just ignore it. How about you tell us what's the funniest bug you've ever seen in a ship game? No. I mean, you had it in Witcher 3 where you can spawn roach on horses and not on horses, on houses and stuff like that. That was pretty funny. I'm trying to think if there's anything in Outriders, but I can't think of anything. My mind goes blank sometimes. What about you? What's one of the funnier bugs that you've seen? Alright guys, give me just a second. I'll be back in a sec. Alright, your boy's back. So let's see how this feels. So let's do copy, do the same thing here, rotation, notify. Same settings, all good. Now here in weapon special, I want to probably do like the tick task or tick, right? I think I have tick. Do I not have it? How do I? Oh man, I guess I don't have the tick task that I myself made. How do I do it in the whole loop? I have a timer. So yeah, I should probably bring in that ability task for tick. I'll do that next stream. Let's add it to our notes. I also have to enable that plugin, not plugin, but function library that I saw too. So implement tick task and abilities. And then implement. I put somewhere Unreal code, the Unreal directive utilities. So can I copy the link? So basically this thing. So that'll be fun little side quests. Oh. Okay. Copy that, please. Thank you. Okay, so let's just grab this. Do it here. More or less have to do this. Grab you. Warp component as well. Sun's coming back out. It's dark for a sec. So there's Dagger motion warp, but we want it to be special rotation. Then on end ability, I had an NPC bug where everyone started using the wrong animation because I duplicated the blueprint incorrectly. It took me way too long to realize what I had done. Nice. I remember there actually no, it's not a funny bug. Like it was just a bug. Where something wasn't replicating correctly in one of the abilities in Outriders when it first launched, and I was just panicking so bad. Like it was with I think it was called Time Slice. Let me look at the Outriders abilities. It was for the Trickster. Oh, Outriders Trickster abilities. Skills. Temporal Blade. So yeah, I worked on all of these abilities. Twisted Round, Cyclone Slice, Borrowed Time, Vendor's Knife, Time Rift, Hunt the Prey, Slow Trap. Hunt the Prey was so that one was a difficult ability because we were using EQS to try to find a valid position behind an enemy. And then sometimes you would just end up out of bounds off the nav mesh and cause problems. So that was annoying. Same thing with the one of the Devastator abilities. I forget there's I should play Outriders again, honestly. How many hours do I have in Outriders? I think I have a lot. On my company account at People Could Fly, I had thousands of hours on Outriders, but that's because I was working on it. Outriders. Yeah, only 123 hours. But yeah, Devastator. Rocket Jump, I think is what it was called. Gravity Leap, okay. We called it Rocket Jump internally, but that also, too, we had to find a valid position on the nav mesh to, like, rocket you towards and slam the enemy into. And that also caused a lot of problems. Impale was super cool. Boulder Down, you know, all of this was fun. Endless Mass was annoying to do because it was like this black hole, so we had to, like, EQS as well. Enemies within some position around. So anytime we used EQS, it was kind of problematic. But yeah, I think, if I'm honest, I worked on all of the abilities, all of the player abilities, and a bunch of the mods, armor mods and weapon mods. I implemented them for the most part. Okay. So in theory, I should be able to rotate around. But I'm not. So let's use the warp target. What is it? Motion warp target. Let's see. Yeah, so I am. You see the warp target happening. You see it updating with my stick. But the character is not rotating. And now, why is that? Let's find out. Rotation type by default. Probably need to change that to facing. Try again. There's our warp target. Yeah, there you go. So because we're clamping it so much, maybe that's a problem. Like, it should be relatively fast. So the time multiplier can probably be 1. I wonder if it would make sense, actually, to kind of let you warp the whole way. Like, the whole time. Probably clamping it doesn't make sense. Let's just do slurp. Slurp. And maybe if we do slurp, maybe the multiplier doesn't have to be so strong. So that works, but maybe there's opportunity to just make it 1 so it's not super strong. Was there a point where I almost quit game development? It was after Outriders. I was pretty burnt out after the DLC. So I definitely wanted to change, but there were times where, during crunch for that, I didn't like playing games. I didn't want to play games. Like, all I could think about was work. So I didn't want to say I wanted to quit game development, but it left like a bad taste in my mouth. But I'm trying to do better. Like I don't see myself I don't see myself doing anything else. I hope I can do games development forever. I think that makes more sense. So bam, 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 bam. So that works. Now to use our spawn projectile, right? So what we could do is on here, we should be able to, because I think I do it in my other abilities for ranged. Let me look. Range, basic attack, I think. Or is it in base? Because I thought I don't know if I make something where it's reserved, but maybe we don't need it. So we have our special, right? We have our spawn projectile. What I should be able to do is now get the projectile pooling system. Should probably make statics for this stuff, just so I don't have to constantly get this reference. So let's add it to the list. It could be low on the list because I think I have ability stuff here, so I should be able to spawn projectile. And I don't need to do anything special. But yeah, there's this one with a delay. And I could just do one, right? So instigator, spawn count 1. I could use instigator transform. No, an event listener. When did you start game development? Like, I started in college. So back in 2010. That's when I started learning. I was on, let's see if I could still remember. It's called Indie Dev, I think. No, IndieDB. It'll be the very first game that I worked on in college with friends. Because I don't know if people still use this website. I think people still do, but it's called The Afflicted. And it used UDK, so it was basically a 3-team, a 3-team battle game, multiplayer game with progressive open level design, where you gather resources to build cover systems, improve your weapons and stuff like that. But yeah, 2013. Yeah, good times. Some people still work in the industry. I saw that my buddy Tristan, he works at, I forget where it said on LinkedIn, but I think he works for Wizards of the Coast now. So yeah, that was my first game, I guess. So now let's create a simple projectile, because I wonder if there's anything on Fab that we can get. So Fab. Let's just type in like magic projectile or something. So we have the stylized one, Trail VFX Pack. We have this magic projectile ones. There's the stylized one. Don't know if we have or need or want. Tune projectiles. I think I have this one. I can't remember. also this one. Ooh, area of effect. Seems good. Yeah, Kismet was wild. Let's look at the showcase of this set. And let's actually... That seems reasonable. Oh, let's buy that. Let's move this to the other screen so you guys can't see anything. Hey, in just 90, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. How you doing? What are you working on? Just a game. I'll show you in a second here. We're just getting something off Fab. There we go. So I'm working on my Dagger weapon special attack. So when you have enough magic resource, you're going to be swinging the daggers like this and spawning projectiles out. That can deal some sort of like damage and stuff like that. And then, we have our basic melee and specials and dagger special attack and dodge attacks and stuff like that. So slowly working on the dagger weapon loop. And so that involves this this part of it where you kind of build up the weapon mana, but then use this kind of attack that kind of loops back into itself and like, okay, how you can deal more damage with the daggers, what you can stack, what status effects you can apply and things like that. So that's what we're trying to do. So we should be able to add this to our project, right? Did we add it? And what's it called? Following projectile. Okay, so we're doing it now. But the game in general, it's a game that I'm trying to make that blends kind of roguelike Hades combat with Slay the Spire type card mechanics. So you have card resources that you're building up, and then you can play cards that you can then turn yourself into a fireball, for example. But other cards that can help you have resources, like ones that can grant you more arrows or stronger arrows, or make you spawn fire arrows. Ones that you can do for like instant effects, that you can spawn summons that can help you out in battle. But right now we're pretty early on in development. Some does make those particle effects themselves, but seems smarter to just buy them for a prototype. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm a VFX artist. Great character model. You can probably guess it's from it's from Fab as well. I'm not much of an artist. I'm just a designer and kind of a pseudo programmer and scripter. So yeah, we have our effects. We have all these projectiles, and then we have projectile and explosion. So let's do this. So let's mark all that for add. But yeah, let's look at the effects. Projectile 1. Well, I guess we can open up the map, right? Yeah, I can imagine like that part of the workflow is very time consuming. And I kind of want to just build mechanics and stuff like that. So I try not to focus too much with it. Yeah, same. So is anything being fired off in this demo map? Okay, so it's playing. Looks cool. Hey, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm thinking like this one maybe for the dagger. Like boom, 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 boom. Is it in the level blueprint that this is being handled? Are you on widescreen? Yes. Ultra widescreen. Okay, so this is the dummy character, and then this is where we're spawning stuff. Okay. So more likely than not, I just need to kind of look at these things. So projectile 1, let's look. So, okay. Nice explosion. Okay. I think this is the one. I guess I could just throw this into one of the test maps here. Just see what they look like. Maybe I also need to introduce like the kind of explosion as part of it. Let's look at a couple more. And then we'll just kind of pick one. So 5, I think, is the one we want. So now we should be able to just, so we have our projectile pooling system. So we have projectile pooling data. Let us create a new thing here. Data. Are you a solo dev? Yes. I'm just working on this for fun. Fun and educational purposes. If it becomes something, it becomes something. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world too, you know? So projectile data, so DA underscore dagger special projectile data. Should be able to pop that in. And now, for quick prototyping purposes, we can add a few fragments here. Let's add our visual fragment. So we don't really have a projectile mesh, but we do have a trail. I'm trying to just build tiny games, but finished ones. I respect that. I always have the problem with scope and ambition with like how big something I want to make. But you know, small games are always cool. It's hard not to recycle an idea though. You gotta have some ideas, you know, in the rotation, you know. So I don't blame you for that. So we have the trail. VFX can go in there. Oh, we got our first bot of the day. So let's ban you. Goodbye. And then expire and so projectile and expire. So there's the explosion, right? And then let's add now the projectile movement fragment. 1000's probably fine. You can mitigate that, but by setting to email verified or something. I forgot the exact setting. Oh, good to know. I'll need to look at that. You know, I kind of suck with the streaming side of stuff. I'll have to look it up. Let me see. So Twitch, prevent bots, setting. What is it? You filter your users, chatters. Oh, aha. Okay, so creator. Sorry, I'm doing this on a different monitor. So settings, moderation, settings, chatter permissions. Aha. There we go. Hopefully that worked. Thanks for the help with that one. So we have projectile movement. I think that's all we really need in order to really see anything. So there's our projectile, right? So there you go. So maybe these could be a little bit bigger. And maybe it would be cool to have this daggers glow in a similar color or something. I also need to give these things a lifetime. I think they go on for forever. So lifetime, we'll say 1 second. Maybe max speed could be 2000 or something. So boom, boom. And maybe 1 second is too short. 3. And maybe both it could be 2000. Then we have trail transform data override. Let's just double the scale of that just to see if it looks kind of ridiculous. Okay, so the scale is not propagating to the projectile. So you gotta hire a 3D modeler for this project or just asset store. Like I said, like if this becomes anything, like I really don't have any true plans for it, but I would like to have fab assets everywhere. I don't want to have fab assets everywhere. I just don't have the time or the money to really hire anybody. And I always feel bad about asking people to do something for free, you know? So I'd rather just work on this, right? Okay, so the scale doesn't work. So I believe that means I've tinkered with AI assets. They're very mediocre. Fab assets better than AI ones. I don't want to mess with AI in terms of art. Like I do use like ChatGPT and Odysseus and stuff just to bounce ideas off like Claude sometimes just to help me with bigger refactoring things and trying some new stuff out. But for the artistic side, I assume the stuff I buy isn't AI made, which is probably stupid. I shouldn't assume anything, but you know, it depends really on the capacity of the person. You know, you can't really expect one person to be able to do everything at a certain level that makes the most sense for the type of game they want to make. I think it's an unrealistic expectation to have. So I think, so let me change everything here. Let me make a duplicate here of these two things. Let me move this. So there's player, there's VFX, impact, trails, So VFX, let me do Dagger. So I don't think I have a weapon, right? So let's grab these. And now let's do, so NS projectile, Dagger special, trail. NS projectile, Dagger. Oops. Impact. Let's update that in our data. Now I think in order for the scale to pass incorrectly, it has to be local. Whoops, that's impact. Like this has to be all, I think, local space. Could be wrong. I don't remember. Let's see. Because I made it twice as big. Still doesn't look twice as big. At least most of it doesn't, right? CV5 Niagara, VFX scale, component. Google says. Okay, so it was local space, the true, but that doesn't seem like it did anything. Let's test on this one specifically. But we gotta replace it with trail. Alright, so here's our trail. Now if I make it bigger, basically this initial like thing isn't growing, which is this head. Alright, if I turn this off, that part's gone. So scale, sprite size, it's uniform. So overall scale is that, right? So I would have to possibly expose that as well, right? That doesn't scale. It's like, do all these have this as well? So there's scale, width, and overall scale, ribbon width, scale, color, sparks, scale, sprite size. Let's just make it a ridiculous size. And if I make this 10, like we see that bigger. But yeah, we still see this not. I'm curious why. Oh, I'm stupid. So, putting in the wrong section. So let's change this back to 1 for a second. Okay. I'm definitely getting different results. Man, it definitely looks fucked up. Are you a full-time game dev? Yeah. Yeah, my full-time job is elsewhere. I work at CD Projekt Red for the last almost 4 years. So this is more of a passion project that I like to do on the side to keep the creative juices flowing, learn and grow, and bring stuff I learn here back there, and vice versa. So my assumption is this being local space is no bueno. Let's see. I think some of the stuff was local space by default. Like one of these was. Let's look. Click file. Yeah. In Poland? Yes, I'm currently in Poland, but I'm originally from the US. Okay, so the Flash stuff is stuck to me. So does that have to be local space and go? Yeah. That looks pretty good. How good is your Polish now? Nie mówię po polsku. I speak a little bit. I'm good with food. I'm good with reading a bit, but you know, most people speak English, especially at work, so I don't really have much to worry about. So let's make the overall scale here too. I think that looks okay. Curious what you guys think. Like, I just don't know how difficult it is gonna be aiming this thing. So let's, because we're gonna stream for about 20 more minutes. So let's see if we can make some well, maybe we could just do the damage fragment in here for now. So damage type, it's whatever. Yeah, the actual damage probably needs to pull from some sort of table. So yeah, this should probably be like a scalable float if I'm going to be real. But we're just going to do it like this. So on hit event, so hit, right? Event dot Is it this? I think that's it. Damage over time. No, can damage allies, damage granted tags. So let's make this like 20 damage, right? And we'll make it, maybe there's like a elemental and something else, but not healing. Let's make it physical. And let's see if I can actually deal some damage. Oh yeah, I need a collision component as well. Whoopsie. So let's do 50. Now I should be able to just hit this shit, right? Or not. Okay, so it does collide, but we're not getting impact effects. No, did I assume something wrong when doing the visual stuff where I can't actually provide this and I have to do by gameplay tag? I wonder. Let's spawn a dude. Yeah, so we're dealing damage, which is good. Yeah, the hit event is not correct. So let me look at my melee base. So we do that. Well, it seems like it would work. I'm probably forgetting something else, right? So reaction dot hit. Let's see if that does anything. There you go. And I want it to have a property of piercing by default. But now it should kind of cut through, right? I think that looks pretty good. Not sure if you heard John Romero was louding Unreal Engine. What does louding mean? Oh, praising it. Okay. Sorry, I've been in Poland for too long and my English sucks now. I'll use that as an excuse that I just don't know some words sometimes. That's cool. I didn't know. I didn't read that. So I'm curious how Unreal 6 is going to be, you know, when they eventually are deprecating blueprints. Let's spawn a couple dudes. Okay, so something weird is happening. Yeah, it's got a long time before we care. So it seems like to me as if, you know, when I shoot this projectile, so there's the collision, right? So like as soon as we hit, if I can actually hit, I am missing. So there's the impact, but then the actual rest of the trail disappears, which is weird. So something about these settings is kind of fucked up. From what I understand, there's going to be another iteration of blueprints that integrates with verse code. It's all very confusing. Yeah, I think they're intentionally making it confusing, honestly. Cause confusion and panic. All right, so let's look at our projectile logic here. So we have projectile CPP, right? Let's find the projectile Niagara component, right? So we have something here. So this is the instantiation, right? So I want to look for something that's kind of like set hidden in game. So we're calling it in 3 places, right? So do we get to return prematurely? We're developing visual scripting, which is not blueprints, but we're keeping blueprints while deprecating it in favor of verse, which is from UEFN. Also, you could do C++. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, by the way. Oh no. So we hit it there. So it's not there. Whoops. Switch over to Rider recently too. It's kind of sluggish, to be honest. I mean, I guess it depends. Like for me, it's okay, but it depends on. Yeah, it is a good looking ID. Like I sometimes it takes a little bit too long to like instantiate properties, so you can like kind of look deeper into them. But for now, it's okay. So we get here, set hit in game, false. That's good. But what's the logical path that we get on when we hit a dude? So there's the overlap, right? If I can spell overlap. Well, let's just run through it. Oh, let's ignore the player, right? So okay, let's start from the beginning. So here. So that's definitely this one, right? So I don't trust that it's that one. I gotta like stop this dummy from doing shit. I gotta like spawn behind him. So I'm gonna move down here. Chances are, yes, okay. So let's put here. Boom. So What causes the trail to stop? So can ricochet or has that? So that's not true. So we can go like, it's gonna go here, we go here, we go here. Now we're here. We go here, cool. So impact visuals, is it valid? Else. We load synchronous, whatever. So we get down here. Now we're here, we're applying effects. Oh. I think I know the problem. Because it's the same. At this point, the impact VFX, we don't want to be doing the Niagara component for it. We want to, I guess, spawn an effect rather than reusing this Niagara effect thing. So forget the code for it. Spawn Niagara system at location. What is this one? Is there not? Spawn Niagara. Okay, it's the function library. Thank you. Okay. Spawn system at location. Okay, and then we use some world context. Get world. And system. Location. Okay, so that seems like all I would need. I think that's what the problem was. I was just reusing the same Niagara component that the trail was doing. So I'm assuming as well as the expire. Well, let me find so same thing here, right? So that should be cash money. Let's compile that again. I believe that should work. And if it does work, then we're good. Then, yeah, we'll slowly be wrapping up for the day. Let's open up all these assets again. Because maybe it would also be cool if, like, the daggers, when you had enough weapon mana, your weapon glowed. Oh, yeah, I think we lost the scale because we didn't save anything, but that's fine. So let's look. Let's see if we lose the VFX. If I can hit. Oh god. And I think if there is no stick input, maybe it should try to target something in front of you. But yeah, as you can see now, it passes through and it's good, right? I don't know. Am I in slow motion? Okay. That looks pretty funny. What's happening? So probably something useful for later. Let me just go back to the visual fragment. Trail. Overall scale. So we got bam, bam, bam. I think that looks okay. I could probably make a check here, but yeah, send invalid system component for animation preview. I should probably fix this as well. I'll log that for later. For next stream. Because like you have these daggers and everything, so it would be cool if they did something noticeable when you had enough weapon mana, and you could just spawn these things. But I want these things, I guess, to do something more interesting, maybe? And I don't know if they should be homing by default. I wonder, like, also with the dagger weapon special, if it, like, makes sense that you also have, like, a arrow. But we'll figure it out, I'm sure. Because, again, the weapon loop I want for dagger is, you know, you do these attacks. As you're doing these attacks, you can stack some sort of status, and then when you do this attack, you consume that status for the weapon mana. So I would probably want to remove the default behavior of this this granting weapon mana by default. I'll probably have to make some sort of filter for that. And then maybe the cost of this should probably be pretty high when you actually do it. And then like what it should, like, then the question is like what is the point of this projectile? What does it really do? And how does it kind of feed back into itself? Where it's like, okay, like, because maybe hitting enemies with this turns them into like some like some special status, and then if you consume that, you know, you get some sort of bonus as well. In general, maybe this thing should be just faster. Like if I were to make this like 25% faster. Does that feel better or different? Kind of, yeah. And then how do the cards feed back into that? You know what I mean? Like, would you say like, okay, you know, you had this card, it makes the thing also apply burn or something? Like, would it be cool if, like, if some enemy has fire on them, if I can stack it fast enough, which I probably can't. I'll have to like push them into this thing. Is that? Yeah, burn. So say he's burning, right? And I use this attack. Would it be interesting then if the projectile can then burn the other enemies as well? Like it consumes the status of the enemy and procs it to other targets or something. We'll think about it. So yeah, that's where I'm going to end it for today. Thank you everybody so much for watching. In Just 90, thank you for the follow. Thanks for chatting for a bit. And thank you, of course, to RickZVV for chatting over on YouTube. It's always appreciated that people hang out and chat for a bit. If you aren't following me here on Twitch, make sure to follow. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. You can also check out our Discord and hang out, share your project, ask for help, teach and learn from others, all of that cool stuff. So we'll probably be back on Thursday. We'll power through some of these tasks, like this error and putting in the tick task into our abilities, continuing the special attack, putting in a cost for it, seeing more about what this special attack can do, how it feeds back into the Dagger gameplay loop, and the broader game as a whole. So definitely check in for that. Since there's not many people watching on Twitch, we won't raid anybody, so enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you soon.